couple of people get on the video. Where's everybody at? Hello, 3 people. We in business now. All right, guys. I was gonna hop on the live real quick because I don't really have any clients today at all. And I made sure that I put on my glasses so that y'all take me serious, because I look very educated with my glasses on. So, the first thing that I was going to do, I know a lot of you guys know this already, but cleaning on the wood tools. I saw a couple of people had posted in the group about it, so I was just going to show you how I disinfect and sanitize my wood tools, because we can't submerge them in water. So I got my tray right here with my wood tools on it. Hold on, let me stand up. I got my tray right here. I've got this little rolling tray, and whenever I get ready to do like a wood therapy session, usually I'll have my tray with my wood tools on it. But when you get ready to clean your wood tools at the end of a session, so the reason why you can't just wipe them down and call it good, even if you're using like a sanitation wipe, is because the solution actually has to sit on the tool for a certain period of time in order to kill any type of fungus, bacteria, any of that. So typically what I will do is I will spray my wood tools down completely. This is actually a hospital grade disinfectant, but it is a peroxide base, so it's a little bit more gentle than most. And I get this from universalcompanies.com. So I will spray down my wood tools entirely so that it gets in all the little cracks and crevices. I spray everything really good. My cups. And I will normally let this sit for about 5 minutes on the tray. And once it has set for 5 or 7 minutes, you don't want to leave it for too long, because it could start making your paint on your tools look a little bit foggy. But once I have sprayed them down and it's been on there for 5 to 7 minutes, I will take my Rejuvenate wipes. These are bloodborne pathogen approved. I use these in permanent makeup too. They are hospital grade, but they are so gentle that you don't even have to wear gloves when you're cleaning with them. These wipes are also safe for all of your cavitation heads, your machines, everything. The only thing about these wipes is whenever you use them, sometimes they leave kind of a funky looking film on your stuff, so you may kind of have to come behind it with like a wet cloth. But once they've been soaking, I'll just take a wipe and I wipe them down real good. And I'll use a new wipe with every tool. Just make sure that they've set. I don't want to leave it that long here on the video, because it'll just be boring sitting here for 5 to 7 minutes. And plus, these are already clean. I'm just doing a demo. But you're just going to wipe them down with your wipes. You can get these from universalcompanies.com. They also have a free sanitation course on their website for anybody that would want to utilize that. You can go on that site and you can take that course for free. The cube roller gets really tricky, guys. You really got to get in all the crevices of it. And the cob roller too. Usually whatever you've sprayed on it, if you've sprayed them good, it's getting in some of those areas to kill anything that could be on them. Y'all, we carry all kinds of nasty stuff on our skin. Want to make sure that we're keeping this stuff really clean. You can't submerge these in water because the insides, even though the outsides are painted, the insides, inside the holes and things like that are still porous. You can get mold, bacteria, all kinds of stuff inside there. Your finish will start to crack out. And all that stuff will get inside your tools. So you definitely don't want to submerge them in water. If you spray them down and you let them sit, and then you come behind it with a wipe and clean them really good, you will not have any issues. After I get them all wiped down and cleaned, I'll dry them off with a paper towel and put them up on my shelf. I have a little display for my wood tools. I've got a ton of wood tools, y'all. I have a problem with buying wood. But yeah, you just definitely want to, you don't just want to wipe them and call it good. You want to set them on a surface and spray them with something. So that they're disinfected. And then once you're done wiping and cleaning them, you just dry them off and put them up. One of the reasons why I have more than one set of wood tools is so that a lot of times I don't have time to clean them in between clients. And so I have a couple of sets that I use. And this is the way that I've always cleaned my tools, and I've never had any issues with messing up the wood on any of them or anything like that. And the peroxide hasn't damaged the paint on any of my tools either. So for some of our new people, just make sure, I know a lot of places sell wood tools that are not clear coated or don't have a good solid finish on them, but you know, you don't need to be using raw tools. So make sure if you have a set that's raw, and it hasn't been clear coated or painted, that you don't use that anymore, because it's holding all kinds of nasty stuff that you're transferring from skin to skin. Staph is real, and once it gets in your bloodstream, it's forever. So not to mention all other types of fungus and just nasty things that are on the skin. I was going to talk about a couple other things too. Hold on just a sec. I got to get my stool wiped off because I got peroxide all over it. So, I know I've talked about this 10,000 times in videos, but explanations for why we cannot do cavitation on certain areas. There's some information that's true and there's some information that's not. Okay, so to clear up one thing, cavitation cannot do anything harmful to a bone other than just get on your client's nerves. The sound's going to get louder. I understand. I know it's hard to hear because a lot of people have been trained that you could shatter a bone. Unfortunately, I hate to put an end to that fairy tale, but it's not true. It absolutely will not. The sound will just get a bit louder. There are some truths and reasons for why we don't need to cavitate close to certain areas. Why do we not need to cavitate near the thyroid, which includes the chin area? The reason why we don't cavitate the chin has absolutely nothing to do with rupturing an eardrum. That is complete and total 100% bullshit. The reason why we don't cavitate the chin is because it is close to the thyroid. And this is what happens. This is what they found in medical studies with ultrasound cavitation in the thyroid. What happened within the thyroid whenever high frequency sound was introduced to the area is that it inactivated certain proteins that the thyroid produced, okay? So that's why we don't cavitate near the thyroid, because it messes with the proteins and the production of peroxidase. I hope I pronounced that right. So that's the reason why we don't cavitate near the thyroid. The reason why we don't cavitate near the heart is not because we can actually damage the muscle, but it is because we have two different rhythmic patterns that do not jive well with each other. So we have the rhythmic sound from the cavitation, and then we have the natural rhythmic pattern of the heart. So when you throw those two sounds in together, there is a possibility that that the rhythm and the sound from the cavitation could possibly affect the rhythmic pattern of the heart. So that's why we don't do that. The reason why we don't cavitate on the spine is because in order for cavitation to be effective, a diffuse reaction must occur. So basically what that means is pressure has to be built up in the area. So you have a lot of micro bubbles being created to induce that pressure, and I'm sure everybody can understand why pressure would not be good within the spinal cord and all of the spinal fluid. And like I said before, there's no reason to cavitate over an area where there's no fat anyway. There's only one reason to cavitate, and that is to reduce fat. So work the love handles, that's fine. Stay the hell off the spine. There's no reason to be there. But if anybody was looking for an explanation as to why, sometimes it's good to know why. You know, we all know that there are certain reasons why we can't work on people with certain medical conditions and stuff like that, but it's best to know why, because sometimes it helps you to understand the reason. I want to say that they've done a lot of studies on cavitation and how it affects the surrounding tissue. There's no effect to, so it strictly targets fat cells. Again, I'm going to say this again and again and again. You cannot damage an organ with cavitation. We cannot even target visceral fat. That is a myth. It is a lie. It is not true. No, you're not going to damage an organ. You're not going to damage an organ. You're not going to rupture an eardrum. They make facial devices. They make facial devices that have a different frequency of cavitation that estheticians have been using on people's faces for years. So some of the stuff that's being spread is just pure, okay, what is considered near the heart? Well, you don't need to cavitate here. You don't need to cavitate in this area. So the highest that I have ever gone with cavitation is the fat here in the upper abdomen, and I cavitate the bat wings. But there's no reason to cavitate up here. Even if you're working bra fat, any of that, you can do fat reduction with radio frequency. You don't need cavitation just for fat reduction. RF does great at fat reduction also. So you don't have to cavitate up towards that area. You know, I use radio frequency on my chin treatments, along with the laser lipo, and you can use the laser lipo up here on the bra fat also. So there's no reason to have cavitation up there. We have other fat reduction options. So but I do want for people to be informed of what is true and what is not true. So there are specific reasons for why we cannot cavitate those areas. I wanted for everybody to know why, specifically with the thyroid, and I wanted to go ahead and just let y'all know that no, you're not going to do anything to anybody's bones other than the sound is going to be irritating. It's going to get louder. But again, you have no reason to be cavitating over a bone. There's not fat there. I mean, you shouldn't even be in that area. You stay in the area where there's fat. A good rule of thumb is to cavitate. I mean, if you can pinch it, it can be treated. So an inch of fat is a good rule of thumb. That's where you should cavitate. Okay, yes, cavitation and breaking down fibrosis. Yes, you have two different modes on your cavitation head. You have a continuous mode, which is what we use to break down fat cells, and you have a pulsed mode that is good for helping break up scar tissue and things like that. That would definitely be something that somebody that works in post-op like you, Nicole, that would be beneficial for you to work the cavitation in pulsed mode versus continuous. So if anybody has been using their cavitation on that pulsed mode, and you've noticed that maybe your fat reduction results are not as great, that's why you need to switch it to the continuous mode. And the difference in the pictures, well, I wish I could draw y'all a picture. Okay, on your machine, the continuous mode has like a wave. And then the pulsed mode is like a box, line, box. And so, can we do cavitation on a person who has varicose veins? I do not cavitate over varicose veins. I'll be honest with you, that is just I'm not saying that you cannot cavitate. What I'm saying is I personally do not cavitate over varicose veins, and it's not something that I have looked into. So I cannot specifically tell you 100% what the effect of cavitation is on a varicose vein. That is something that I would have to look into and go online, or I could tell you also, go online and go and see if you can find some information on that, and not from a random website like a spa website or something like that. Try to find a medical journal and the effects of high frequency cavitation on varicose veins. Lola, you already know. Look, I'm not fixing to sit up here and try to feed somebody some bullshit on something that I don't know the answer to. I will find out though. Lola already knows. Yes, I'll be on a mission. I will report back. So yeah, Lola, you're right. So if you do use Google, just make sure that you're pulling from good places. So some places that I recommend are Mayo Clinic, Science Direct. Anytime you can find a medical journal, lots of times, y'all, there's so much information to be found. We look to each other. And sometimes we need to look to each other for support, for sure. But always verify information. There's so many things to be found online through medical journals and studies. So I definitely encourage you guys, if you have questions that you feel like you're not finding here, always go and utilize some of these sources. Because like I had said before in the other video, when they publish clinical studies and medical journals and things like that, they are held very accountable for the information that they give. So it's definitely going to be a reliable source. And it's interesting to read. So you'll definitely always get good information there. A couple of other things that I want to talk about while I'm on the video, if y'all, the people that are on here, if anybody wants to, if anybody has a specific question. Yeah, I'd already seen those up there.
Okay.
if anybody has a specific question, something that I haven't talked about in some of my other videos, I was trying to address some questions that I saw in the group. I had seen a couple of questions about sanitizing wood tools, so I wanted to go over that. Just going to say again that you can get the free sanitation course at universalcompanies.com. You can also get the Rejuvenate wipes from Universal Companies. Those will be safe to use on your machines. I'm trying to think of anything else that I could talk about. I'm sure everybody knows because we made a group post. There were a couple of new courses that got rolled out. So one of them is vaginal rejuvenation, which I know absolutely nothing about. That's all Ebony. It's not anything that I offer in my studio, but I do know based off of some of the course prices that I've seen that hers is extremely cheap in comparison to some others. Also the scalp electroporation. Okay, a client who has high blood pressure but says it is controlled taking meds, would you take or require a doctor's note? So this is the thing with people with high blood pressure and also with doctor's notes. I'm going to tell y'all right now, I do not trust these doctors with their releases. You know why? These doctors have no idea what we're doing. They don't. They think we're having some kind of little party over here and wrapping each other in saran wrap or something. And I don't know what they think we're doing, but I'm astounded at the amount of doctors who have no idea what capability we have on our machines. I'm going to give you an example. I had a client who came in. She was a diabetic, and it was already a no. It was going to be a no for me. But she actually had a pump, an insulin pump implant. And her doctor gave her a damn release to come to me. And I'm like, and I told her no. I'm like, your doctor has no idea even what I'm doing. He just wrote you a note because you asked for it. So always use your own discernment when dealing with clients. High blood pressure. What is the issue with high blood pressure? Why do we not want to treat somebody that has like a severe problem with blood pressure? High blood pressure decreases kidney function. And we need the kidneys to be like solid and in good working order, because when we break fat down, when it gets ready to leave the lymphatic system and go to the circulatory system, the first place that it goes is to the liver. And the liver is going to decide, it's going to send out what we break down one of two places. The liver is going to say it's either going to the intestines and it's going to be released through poop, or it is going to go to the kidneys and it's going to be released through urine. So we definitely want strong, good kidneys. So don't always trust the doctors with the releases. I'm going to tell you, I learned my lesson on that. You know, with clients that are really pushy, you know, about services, and they're like, well, if I get a doctor release, and, you know, we're kind of like, well, you know, if we have a doctor release, we're covered, but not really. If we know that they shouldn't have it done, just assume and know that we know a lot more about this treatment and these machines than what the doctors do. And if we had just a minute to chat with the doctor and explain what our machines do, I guarantee you 9 times out of 10, they wouldn't give clearance. So not all money is good money. We got to make sure we keep our integrity intact too, because at the end of the day, that's the most important, is client safety. You know, maybe there are some alternatives, you know, that we could offer them. You know, that's why it's important to know as many things as you can in the body contouring industry, so that you have things that you can offer to people. Maybe the machines aren't a great choice for everybody, but you know, what health conditions are an automatic hell no? There are a lot of them. Can you work on somebody with eczema? I have no issue at all working on anybody with eczema. As a matter of fact, the laser lipo, the lipomat, the low-level light therapy is actually really good for eczema. I might not would want to use it would depend on the severity of the eczema. I may hold back radio frequency, but I would definitely treat them with laser lipo or wood therapy. There's, depending on your options of what you can offer in your studio and what you've been trained on, you should be able to build a program for most any client that comes in. It's why it's so important to know so many different things. But you do need to take it one piece at a time. I would not recommend anybody who's just getting into body contouring to jump out there and just want to take 20 different courses on a bunch of different things, because you're going to get confused. Some of the advanced courses that we offer right now in the group, we have yeso therapy, which is the plaster body wrapping. That is one of the only wraps that is medically endorsed. They studied it clinically. It is effective on fat. You are not just losing water. Another class that we offer is the Hyaluron Pen Fat Dissolve, which is extremely popular right now. I don't recommend anybody trying to DIY that. There are some areas that you definitely do not need to inject. So we offer a class on that. The virtual mesotherapy, which is everybody has heard about Glutox and mesomuscle and the addition to the butt lifts. There's several serums that you can use with virtual mesotherapy that you can incorporate into your treatment. It's a good upsell and it's super effective. Like I said, the vaginal rejuvenation and the scalp electroporation, which is actually a 4-month hair treatment series that can it has a higher effective rate currently than any other hair growth treatment in the world. So it can actually treat all types of alopecia with the exception of scarring alopecia. So that is another class that we offer. There are several. So I'm sitting here doing the potty dance, y'all, because I gotta pee. I didn't know whenever I started this video that I was going to pee. Health conditions that are automatic, hell no. Any conditions that severely affect the immune system, anybody that could be a cancer risk. What class do you need to take for the butt enhancement with injection? Y'all don't get me started on the injections in the butt. Okay, I'm so glad this is brought up because I want to tell y'all something. I want to tell y'all something before y'all get hustled for a bunch of money. But can y'all give me just like 2 seconds to go pee real quick? And then I'll be right back. Nicole Britt, I want to talk to you, baby. I want to talk to you on the video before you come out a bunch of money, okay? So that you're informed and you can make a good decision from what you know, okay? Hold on just a second, though. I got to go pee. Okay, I'm back. So on the, okay, let's talk about the injections on the butt for just a second. Okay, so these are the two different types of injections that I see currently being done. One is the hyaluron pen injection of the Glutox. So I just want to talk about that for just a second. For one, Glutox was not formulated for injection. Glutox was formulated by our meso specifically for electroporation introduction. So why does that matter? For people who have a business, some are insured, some are not. I understand it's baby steps. Sometimes we kind of got to get our business going before we can get insured and get all that stuff in line. So why is it important to administer products the way they are labeled on the box? So if a client has a reaction and they pull your product and see that you administered it in a way that is not written on the packaging or per manufacturer's instruction, the first thing that will happen is your insurance company will not cover you. The second thing that will happen is, depending on the severity of the reaction, you could be prosecuted criminally. So that's the first thing. So everybody just needs to know that Glutox was not formulated and it's not approved or written in any of the paperwork from our meso that it is for injection. And injection is not even needed for it to be effective. When you administer it via electroporation, it works beautifully. The second thing is the hyaluronic acid injections in the butt. So when Hyaluron Pen came out, people were like, oh my gosh, we can inject hyaluronic acid into the butt, like how they do with Sculptra. Well, this is the thing. So we get our filler. Our filler typically comes in 1 ml syringes. So in order to do a true butt lift that lasts for more than a few days or a week or two with hyaluronic acid, you need 500 to 800 ml of HA filler to do that. So that means at the cheapest possible rate, you can get 1 ml of hyaluronic acid filler for $35, okay? So you take $35 and you times that times, we'll shoot in the middle, we'll say 650 mil. So you take 650 times 35, and that's the amount of money that you're gonna have invested in filler for a true butt lift. And also, the butt is one of the most dangerous areas to inject. It's actually is that right? $22,000 in, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you will need, if you want to give a Sculptra effect, which like I said is 500 to 800 mil, this can be verified online, which Sculptra is hyaluronic acid filler, then you will need, yeah, about $22,000 worth of filler to do that. So what you do see happening, and this all depends on the type of business owner that you want to be, and how you want to be represented in your business and to your clients. So you could definitely do some butt lift hyaluronic acid injections if you want to. You need a whole lot of filler to do it. It will be very dangerous because the butt is a super dangerous place to inject. And you know, their butt will probably look good for a couple of weeks. It's not going to look good for more than a couple of weeks. They're likely going to be out a lot of money and probably not super happy, because most people are probably not telling their clients that that is only going to last for a short period of time. So with that information, you could kind of decide where you wanted to go from there. Like I said, I actually operate in a small town, and I have to rely on people to drive to me from 50 to 60 miles away. So you can go ahead, like, and write it down somewhere. Just know that I pretty well stand behind every service that I offer in my studio. Like, I will not misrepresent, like, I won't misrepresent anything that I offer to my clients. And I try to take into consideration, what would I pay for? And when you start getting into butt plumping and butt injections with the HA filler that we get, you know how expensive it is. So even if you were just using a minimal amount of it, it would get very expensive. And you start getting up close to the price of what they would actually pay for a true, you know, fat transfer BBL. But I will tell you what you can do that will produce an amazing result on the butt. You can incorporate wood therapy and virtual mesotherapy, which is the glutox and the mesomuscle on a treatment series of 6, into your butt lifts, and you can have some of the most amazing, affordable results for your clients. Needs to be on a treatment plan, though. It's not going to be a one-time visit. They need to be set up on like 4 to 6 visits. So that is definitely something that you want to take into account if you're getting into the butt lifting with the injections and stuff like that. And the trainers that are training on injections and stuff like that, they are going to tell you that none of what I'm saying is true. And the reason for that is because they're making a lot of money on training. So they don't want me cock blocking over here, basically. All of my comments stopped. Why can't I see any of my comments? Oh, there are no more. There's 30 people on the video. Somebody say something so I know my comments are working. There's a heart. So yeah, you know, y'all, where do you purchase the serum? Which type of serum are you looking for? Okay, I see everybody now. My comments are, I just wanted to be sure they were working so I wasn't missing any questions if anybody had any. So on the serum, so like on the, girl, you don't want to come work for me. Look, I'm a hot wreck. My life is like the train wreck express. I can't even be on time to work. That's why I work for myself. Ashley, pins should be here, if not today, tomorrow. I checked on DHL this morning and it's finally in the Cincinnati hub. So I expect with it being express that it should either be here today or tomorrow. And yes, I do have some Yeso here at the shop, Ashley. I just haven't gotten it uploaded onto my store. So tonight I'm going to get some Yeso uploaded to my store, but it's going to be after I get my certificates complete for the virtual meso class. That's something that I absolutely have to get done today because I promised the girls. Well, dang, Venice, I should have had you pick it up for me, girl. I didn't know you was right there in Cincinnati. Damn, I've been fighting with these people forever trying to get my pins. You know, it's funny, you know, you wait for so long and they tell you that it's a shipping problem and it's customs that's backed up. But when you get pissed off and you file a dispute, it's amazing how fast that package suddenly moves. Isn't that funny? Oh yeah, baby, on the meso classes, yes. Hey, Michaela, check in the group because I uploaded some forms in there. Or you can message me your email and I can send it to you. What sequence is recommended for treatments? So on the laser lipo, it's kind of up to you really if you want to do it at the beginning or the end of the treatment. But I follow a pretty standard rule of fat reduction. So because this is the same thing with wood therapy, with the machines, anything. The process of fat removal is, number 1, you've got to heat the fat. Number 2, you got to break the fat, and then you've got to drain the fat. So no matter what the method is for fat removal, you will see that it kind of follows that. So my specific order that I do is I do my laser lipo treatment first, and then I will do radio frequency, then I do cavitation, and then I do my drainage at the end. So that's how I do it. If you swap your order of treatment, it's not going to affect your treatment results. The only thing that will affect your treatment results is because your cavitation head produces heat also too. I don't know if anybody knows that, but radio frequency produces heat within the tissue. I think it's 40 degrees Celsius when the body starts to produce collagen. And cavitation heats the tissue to 38 degrees Celsius. So you are getting the heat needed from the cavitation also to soften up the fat. So your treatment order, like, don't overthink that. The one thing that you do need to overthink, however, is the lymphatic system and areas and movements that you need to drain, because that is, number one, the most important part of your body contouring treatment, and it is the one thing that is taught the least in classes. So it doesn't matter how badass your machine is or any of that. If you're not draining properly, if you do not understand the lymphatic system and the directions that fluids need to move, you just run a risk of, several things. You run a risk of collapsing a lymphatic vessel, which isn't major. It'll repair itself within like 48 hours, but you're just going to backflow fluid into the tissue, which means the clients are going to appear swollen. Most women over the age of 40, their lymphatic system is slow moving anyway. So we really don't want to rely on the lymphatic system to just pick that up and move it at itself. We really need to be aggressive with our drainage. I don't know why. I don't know why some of the classes are not going in depth on lymphatic drainage. This is something that anybody that knows me that's on the video, that has known me for a little while, y'all know how stupid I get over the lymphatic drainage. It's something I preach on all the time. Hands down, the most important part of body contouring is understanding the lymphatic system. Not only understanding the lymphatic system, but understanding the way that vessels flow. You cannot backflow a lymphatic vessel. The body won't allow for it. They're designed to move to certain lymph nodes in the body. There is a specific roadmap to the lymphatic system. And there is also a specific way that it must be pumped and drained while you're working the area, because the lymphatic system, all of those little branches that you see, they're actually like little strands of pearls, and they are on a vacuum system, meaning that each little strand has its own little trap door. So for fluid to move through, that's why you see so much of the pumping motion. That's why the vacuum is made to have that pumping motion, because in order for fluid to travel through the vessel, it's like a strand of pearls, and one part of the vessel has to be empty for the fluid to move to the next one, and that's just how it works. So there is a specific way that you need to drain. I don't know. So I know quite a bit about the lymphatic system. I don't know that I would want to go into. I don't pretend to know how to do a full body lymphatic drainage session from head to toe. I know how to move the fluid from the areas that I'm working in to the area where it needs to be, and how to properly stimulate it, pump it, and get it moving. I think that a class just on the lymphatic system overall would be beneficial and should be a part of every body contouring training, probably, because it is so important. Anything else that I wanted to, how often can you do? So this is the thing, you can do laser lipo every 48 hours, but as far as cavitation, RF, and all of that, that is every 72 hours. But honestly, with my clients, when they come in for a new treatment, I will tell them their first 2 treatments they can do every 72 hours. But really, from the third treatment moving forward, it's best to do treatments once a week. It gives the body plenty of time to recoup, to move everything out, so that we're not overwhelming the lymphatic system. The overall results over time will be better. So I prefer to do treatments once a week after the first two. So the first two treatments I do 72 hours apart, and then from the third treatment moving forward, I do that once a week. Anything else that I wanted to talk about on the video? We went over the wood tools. We went over the, another thing that I wanted to say, for those who don't know, guys, Ebony has wood tools. They've been really hard to come by here lately. I don't know what's going on with that, but they have been hard to find. So Ebony does have some wood tools available if anybody is needing a set, and they are affordable. I actually have the set. You know, Nikki, it's funny that you said that, because I really am thinking about, we have a lot of Texas girls on the group. And since I have freed up some time at the studio now, I was booking like seriously 7 days a week, and I had to cut that down some and regulate some of my clients a little bit on their appointment slots. Absolutely not. Deep tissue massage does not stimulate any form of lymphatic drainage. Lymphatic drainage is a very, very soft touch, like how you would handle a newborn baby, because the lymphatic system is superficial, so it sits right below the skin. I'm talking baby pumps and movements. It should be hardly any pressure at all. As far as people that are in Texas that were wanting to come into the studio to maybe get some hands-on, so I was thinking about trying to set something up like maybe on like a group rate of like 4 or 5 girls, so that it's not too many, but enough to where, you know, it would be affordable, like at a group rate. So definitely, deep tissue is definitely different than a lymphatic. Lymphatic is like how you would handle a newborn baby. Very, very light touch, very light touch, soft pumps, just a slight stretch on the skin with your hands. I'm trying to think of anything else that I wanted to talk about. I was going to talk about this because several people asked questions about, I had several people that messaged me, so I'm just going to kind of throw this in here. The liquid lipo that everybody is hearing about, the liquid lipo that several people had questions about, that I did in combination with the yeso therapy. So for anybody that is possibly interested in the liquid lipo, that is, I am a liquid lipo advanced practitioner. I do not offer the training for that. It is a very very, very good product. It is absolutely amazing, but there is a channel that you have to move through in order to be able to offer that in your salon. So if somebody is interested in that, you can definitely message me. I have a link that I can send you where you can get all of that set up. It can be incorporated into any of your treatments, the yeso therapy, the body contouring. It's a topical fat dissolve, so it is the first of its kind, and it has undergone some clinical studies for FDA approval, so it is amazing. I'm not sure about the spray in the mouth, baby. I don't know anything about that. I only know about the, you know, the liquid lipo that's in the silver bottle that you can use in combination with your, you can have clients do a home treatment with it. You can do it in studio. No, ma'am. You don't have to. So no, you don't have to have a license to do liquid lipo. You do not. You do, however, have to have training with the company. It is an amazing product, and I can tell you guys right now that if it were my product, I would have it locked down tight. And it is locked down tight. If you want to offer it in your salon or in your studio, you do have to go through the training. And you do get a kit with the training, so you get a lot of good product with it, but they are going to make sure that you are properly trained in it and that you are a part of the company in order to gain access to it. So I'm super, super happy with it. So for anybody that's interested in it, all y'all have to do, y'all can just private message me, and I can send you the info on it. If anybody is interested in offering it at your studio. I've been going crazy with it the past couple of days, so it works really good with yesotherapy or the sauna blanket or the laser lipo, or even before a cavitation treatment. You can use it in so many ways. Some other things that I wanted to talk about. Yeah, oh, hey, Michaela, I was going to tell you too, the information that I sent you, well, I can't remember if it was you, if you had messaged me, anybody that had messaged me about the liquid lipo, I do have a direct link now that is a bit less complicated. So I do have a direct link, so you can message me and I can send that to you. I'm trying to think of anything else. Do you have any questions for me? Anybody? Before I get off the video? I think my camera's kind of lagging, so I'm going to give it a second to see if any come through here. Hey, Michaela, yes, baby, the group is up yet. The group is up yet. I can't even talk right. Yes, the group is up, and I will add you as soon as the video is over. And there are forms and things in there, a lot of good information in there for you. I'm gonna get some yeso uploaded. So on the detox teas, definitely, Lola, I think that's something that we should talk to all of our clients about. So, oh, hold on, a bunch of questions coming in here at once. Okay, so on the detox tea, yes, I think that we definitely need to be offering detox teas to our clients or advising them to do some type of detox, because women don't like to poop, and that's a problem for us. But above all, we want to make sure before we start telling them to do all these detoxes, they need to know how important it is for them to be taking a probiotic every single morning, because your body doesn't absorb any of that like it should if your gut isn't balanced right. So probiotic is always the first step. I recommend to my clients the little Activia drinks are really good. Can the lipo belt be used after electroporation? It would actually be used before electroporation, baby. If you're incorporating electroporation into a session, you definitely want that to be the last step. What are the best ingredients for detox? I know that lemon, anything with lemon and ginger root, anything with ginger root is really, really good. I know I see some people on the live. Hey guys, when y'all hear me talking about the virtual meso class or the virtual meso group, that is follow up with some extra class material and stuff for people that took the virtual mesotherapy class. So that is the group that you're hearing some of the people reference is actually some of my students who took the virtual meso class. And I did make a follow-up group for that so that I can continue to feed them lots of goodies as I get new information, find out new things about serums, or a place for me to be able to share forms and things like that with them. Did I miss any questions on there? Karina, will you scroll up for me so I can see if I missed any questions? There were a few that came through.
Okay, where's
do I sell wholesale plasters? Well, I will have some Yeso available for sale. I'm going to have to package them in either 8 to 10 wraps. I don't know if y'all have noticed, but Yeso is really hard to get right now, and they're really, really price gouging on it, which is why I had decided to get some packaged. I'll have that up on my store tonight, guys. So you can find my store. You can go to www.bodynovas, bodynovas.com, and just click on shop, and you'll see a list of things. I have Cavitation fat dissolve on there, a couple of different types of hyaluron pens. I'll have the Yeso uploaded, and then the contouring Bible. I've got my book on there. Where do I feel? Okay, the virtual meso group, Zandra, are you talking about the body meso or the hair meso? Zandra, I'll go through and I'll see which class it was that you were in with me, and I'll make sure that you get added to the group today, baby. No, if you were in virtual meso body, that would not include the hair group. They're two different classes. I missed a lot of the materials you presented. Is it recorded? Absolutely, baby. Anytime I do a video, I will always upload it and put it onto my YouTube and then share it within the group, because I know a lot of people reference back to these, or they're not able to sit and watch the whole video. On the body class, Zandra, I'll make sure that I get you added to the group today so that you have access. And I'm watching my TV screen. Where do I recommend that you get hyaluronic acid to be used in the pens? Any of the HA filler that you use in the pens needs to be cross-linked. I get all of my filler from distributors out of South Korea. I don't get any type of filler from China. And that's nothing personal. It's just because they are not regulated as closely as some other countries. And when you are going to be putting something into somebody's body, you want for it to be coming out of a country who doesn't have really, really loose regulations. I typically won't use anything coming from China that goes into the body, because you never really know what you're getting. So I deal with South Korea on any fillers. You can find fillers on Bionicare. You can find fillers. I think there's most any of my fillers that I've ordered, I've gotten from Bionicare. But I think there's another place called, it's like Cosmo fillers, or Cosmo Korea, or something like that. Bionicare is one. But I'm going to tell y'all something. If y'all go on to Bionicare to get fillers, just know I have the Cavitation fat dissolve, and it is cheaper. It's cheaper than Bionicare. So I have that here actually in stock at the studio. So they have tons of filler options on Bionicare. Neuramis Deep and Neuramis Volume are both two really good fillers. Again, I'm just going to make a disclaimer. Please, nobody try to DIY the fillers with the hyaluron pen. Like mapping and training is so important, because there are just certain things that you can and cannot do. You don't want to have a pissed off client. So definitely definitely locate a good trainer on that if you haven't trained already. Anybody else with any questions? I'm probably fixing to wrap it up. I'm getting hungry. I'm starting to get hungry. Tacos. I don't know if I want any tacos. Oh. No, you cannot do Cavitation with electroporation. Cavitation is strictly for any deoxycholic acid. Fat dissolve is for either. When's our next fat dissolve class? Girl, we got a fat dissolve class on our site right now. LearnBodyContouring.com. There is a super cheap hyaluron pen fat dissolve class on there. And it's also listed in the announcements on the group with a link. So, Cavitation. So, no Cavitation on electroporation. So, deoxycholic acid needs to be administered either with the hyaluron pen or via needle injection for those who are able to do that. There are all types of lipolytic serums that can be used for electroporation, but Cavitation or any deoxycholic acid base is not one. When in doubt, guys, when you're not sure, just always check the labeling on your product. Anything you buy or order, there is going to be information there on how it should be administered. So when in doubt, you can always check that also. All right, guys. I think I'm fixing to wrap it up. I am going to load the video though. I'm trying to think if there was anything else that I wanted to cover while I was on the video. Let's see. We did the sanitation. We talked about the butt injections. Okay. The link you have for liquid lipo only. So this is the thing. This is the thing with the liquid lipo. So if you are set up with the company and you are a practitioner, there are rules set in place that we cannot distribute to salon owners that are operating. I want to make sure that I'm doing this 100% right because I surely don't want to step on anybody's toes. But I'm not sure if it's for personal use and you're wanting to try the product. You know what, Aisha, let me find out, baby. I'll find out today. And I'll message you and let you know if, you know, how that situation is worked out. If somebody, you know, is possibly interested, but they are just wanting to, you know, to try to get a bottle or whatever before they commit. I will find that out today, and I've already got you. I've got you in my messenger, so I'll message you back and let you know. All right, I think that's it. I think I covered everything. I don't think I've seen any other questions. Okay, please and thank you. That small one, I will use it too fast. Okay, baby, yeah, I'll find out and I'll let you know today. So I guess that's it. There's nothing else that I need to go over other than y'all go and check out all of the courses that were uploaded. They're super cheap. Super cheap. I paid way more for my... I was so pissed, y'all. They pulled me into... They got me hook, line, and sinker. They did. I've taken so many mesotherapy courses, like tons upon tons of different types of mesotherapy courses. And they reeled me in with the expert. Damn it. It was labeled expert. And I'm like, well, that sounds like my cup of tea. I definitely need some expert training. I was so damn pissed. I paid $350 and it was literally like 3 slides and a video that I couldn't hardly see. And I was like, man, they got me. They suckered me in on the expert, damn it. So, yeah, the courses definitely have a lot of info. So if you're looking into offering any of it, I would definitely check out some of the courses on the site. And I guess that's it. Karina, did I say anything else? Mm-mm. Did I mention anything before the video that I said that I need to talk about? Mm-mm. Alright. When's my next class? All of the classes that we were doing are online now, babe. They're all uploaded onto the site. We're going to have a couple of extra courses that are going to be added to it in a few weeks. But as far as my hands-on here at the studio for like women that are in Texas, you know, that are maybe looking to get started and they want to do hands-on, I am going to get some hands-on dates scheduled. But I'll be working one-on-one. You know, somebody that's interested in that would just need to message me, and it's something that I would definitely have to do on Thursdays. Thursday would need to be my day to be able to do that, and it would probably work best if we could get like a small group, you know, like maybe 3 or 4 girls, to where we could just do a group price and get everybody in. So the site, so Lola, I will have the learnbodycontouring.com tied to the training option on my website today. It's not on there yet. So for anybody, you can go to learnbodycontouring.com, and we got some advanced courses up on there right now, and we'll be adding to them in the future. There's going to be a couple of other classes. As far as the cost on the hands-on, I would really like to be able to do a group rate, because it's a little bit cheaper that way. I had done a deal before where we got a couple of girls together from one of the other groups, and I was able to do a special rate for them as a group. Yeah, Lola, that is right. If anybody's interested in coming into the studio to train with me, you would just private message me. What is my favorite machine? Oh man, I've got a couple of machines in here. Probably my blue and white machine right here. Well, this one. This machine, and there are several models of this machine right here. So, the model that I have actually has the 160 MW laser lipo pads, and the radio frequency is 3 megahertz. I love that machine. It's my favorite. I've got 3 of them. I also have the S-shape. Me and the S-shape have a love-hate relationship. I love it for the electroporation, but I'm still not convinced that I love it for its other functions. But I would have bought it for the electroporation alone anyway, just because the electroporation function is awesome. Yes, Lola, that's my web address, baby, to my page. I will have the Learn Body Contouring linked there. Yes, you can definitely message me, baby, if you have any questions about, like, especially if you're in Texas and you're looking for, and also people who are like in the Florida area. You don't see Ebony post about this a lot either, but she does schedule. She schedules hands-on too for those that feel like that they need the hands-on. She schedules that in Florida also. But, you know, for any Texas people that may be interested, absolutely just message me and maybe we can get together a group of girls to where we could do, you know, something affordable, like a group rate that won't be just super expensive for coming in and doing a hands-on, because a one-on-one is always going to be a little bit more expensive than if we could. What I like to do is get a group of girls so that can be split between the girls, because then it's super, super, super affordable to come in for a full day of hands-on. And I think that's it, y'all. I don't see any more questions coming up here, so I'm going to end the video. Do you get a certificate after the hands-on? Absolutely. Yeah. Yes, for sure. You can get a certificate on all of the trainings. They all come with certificates, any of them. Lola, I'll message you, baby. Barbara, if you want to get a copy of the Contouring Bible, you just need to go to my website and click on the shop, and it's listed on there. So you can just go to www.bodynovas.com, and you can get a copy of it there. All right, y'all, I think that's it. I think I covered everything that I wanted to talk to you guys about. Yes, it's going to be saved for sure, and I'm going to upload it so that people can reference back to it. Camille, what were you needing to know, babe? And I can let you know if I've already answered it. It may be a question that wasn't asked. Yes, Barbara, the book is an ebook, so it has to be downloaded. It is going into print as soon as I'm able to get everything uploaded and sent over to them. I've been dragging my feet about it because I've been busy, but I need to make that a priority this week. Camille, what's your question, baby? And I'll let you know if it's been answered or not before I get off here. That way I can cover it if it hasn't been answered. Oh, the dual cavi and RF with using the two functions together. Yeah, that's right. Okay, Camille, you know why you cannot find an answer for that? Because the combination of what is needed is just a total shit show. They should have thought this out. So this is the deal. Cavitation needs a water-based conductor in order to transmit sound. And if y'all go to YouTube on the Body Nova Aesthetics channel, y'all can see a video that I did that shows the difference in sound with gel and oil or glycerin. So you can definitely hear the difference. But this is the thing, when you're running the heads together, the cavitation and the RF, okay, so you need a water base for the cavitation, but you also need a mineral content of some sort to help the RF conduct, because RF needs a mineral content like a magnesium, or like a sea salt additive, something like that, something that is considered a metal element on the periodic table of elements, but it also must be skin safe. So magnesium is a go-to, right? Because that's in a lot of skin products, so it's skin safe. But this is the thing, if you add the sea salt or the magnesium to the ultrasound gel, it gets thin. So do you know what I did? And this has worked out great. If you want a good combination for the S shape, what I did is I took some aloe vera gel, and you could just put it like in a container like this. I took some aloe vera gel and I filled it about 3/4 of the way full, and I added just a little bit of glycerin to it, and then I put just a pinch of sea salt in there, and I shook it up, and yeah, it's a little bit thin. It's a little bit thin, but you know, so is oil, and we use that on clients all the time. So I just have to deal with, if I'm running the dual head, I just have to deal with my conductor being a little bit runny. The magnesium makes the ultrasound gel clump when you use it. Yeah, baby, it's also going to make it thin. What you need to do is just get, okay, so something really simple that you can find just like at the dollar store, okay? Get like some good, like aloe vera gel. Something that doesn't have a bunch of fragrance and shit in it. Like, try to find like an all natural, like aloe vera gel. And you can take some aloe vera gel, like 3/4 in the bottle, and add like maybe, you know, a 1/4 of glycerin to that, like what I have. And this is my glycerin right here. It's just vegetable glycerin. You can add that to the aloe vera, and just like a pinch of sea salt in there, and it's going to be runny. I mean, the aloe vera gel won't be quite as runny as the ultrasound gel, but it's still going to be a little bit runny. And you know, it's going to be kind of like this, but you just squirt it on the skin. And I mean, it'll be fine. It's not going to be so runny that it's like water, that it like runs all over the mat. Just squirt it on the skin and, you know, rub it around. And this is the thing. The radio frequency, if you have any type of water base at all, it's going to pop and sizzle a little bit. It's just going to. That's what sucks about the combination handle. I mean, set your machine to pro mode. Keep your probe tight to the skin while you're working. Don't lift it off the skin a lot. And it won't pop as bad, but that's just something that you're going to have to deal with. It's not going to hurt the client. What it is it's the heat from the RF. It's, you know, it's basically cooking what's on the handle. And I don't think that the RF and the cavitation were ever meant, really and truly, to be included on the same head, because they require two completely different types of conductors. You know, you can use glycerin, but if you use glycerin, you're not getting your full cavitation effect, because sound does not travel well through an oil base. You know, but if you use a 100% water base, then, you know, you don't have that mineral content that you need for the radio frequency. But if you add the mineral content, then it makes your shit all runny. So the best thing that I have found is just to, you know, take some good all natural aloe vera gel. That is the bed pad on top of my table. This is a chuck. So this is a potty pad like they use in the hospital. This is what I use with all my clients. I get them on Amazon. They're super cheap, and I change them in between clients. So the yellow cream that they give you with the S-shape, what I want you to do is I want for you to go, I'm never going to recommend anything other than a water base for sound transmission on the ultrasound cavitation. And this is why, Tasha, the best way that you could understand is for you to go to my YouTube channel, go to Bodynova Aesthetics, and find the video labeled Body Contouring Tips and Tricks, okay? And in that video, it will show you the difference. So a cream is going to be like an oil base. It's not going to have a lot of a water content. I think some of the shit that I think it's just like marketing to just like sell more of their products. Because you need a water base for cavitation. I mean, You just do if you want the best sound effect. And you need that high frequency sound in order to disrupt the fat cell. You don't want it to be muffled. So the best thing that I could do was to make the video and just to show you guys, you know, the difference between the two so that you could see it. So go and find that video and watch it, and that'll answer your question on that, baby. And I think that's it. I don't see any other questions coming through. I'm really fixing to get out. I bet I've probably been on this video for like an hour and a half. My videos are always so long. But I'll upload it in case y'all need to see anything that's on here. And y'all can go over the replay. And like always, I mean, if y'all have a question, like, message me. You can message me. Private message me on Facebook. I have to go through my spam sometimes to find the messages. And y'all just understand, lots of times it may be late at night that I'm going through messages, or early in the morning. But I'll definitely always try to make my way through on anything. But sometimes making the video to try to cover a lot of things that I see posted in the group. I see a lot of things posted in the group about what is the best machine. Do you want to know what the best machine is? Check the specs. Check the specs on every machine. If they can't supply you with the specs, then don't buy from them. They should know the specs on their damn machines. So what should you look for in a machine? On your laser lipo, you want 160 MW per diode. You want 160 MW pads. If that machine has 160 MW pads, it will be advertised as such. 160 MW pads, they will say 160 MW next to the little diode. If your pads do not say 160 MW anywhere on them, they're probably 5 MW pads. And 5 MW pads are not strong enough to trigger a chemical reaction to reduce fat. That's how red light therapy works. It triggers a chemical reaction. 5 MW per diode is not going to cut it. You need at least 10 MW per diode in order for fat reduction to occur, for mitochondria to be triggered to release the contents of a cell. You have to. 5 MW pads will not be effective in fat reduction. So you need to look for 160 MW on your pads. Radio frequency, a really good, you want to get 3 if you can. 3 megahertz, between the 1, the 3, and the 5. They say that the 3 actually triggers fat better. All we need the heat. They're all going to heat. They're all going to heat to produce collagen. But as far as the strength for triggering fat reduction the best, they are saying that 3 shows better results in that area, which is probably why I like my blue and white machine so much, because it is a 3 megahertz. So I would look for a 3 on the radio frequency. Guys, the difference in cavitation between 30K and 40K, hell, I can't tell a damn difference. 680 MW, that is going to be the strength of your entire pad. That is going to be the strength of your entire pad, Venice, not per diode. You need to find out what it is per diode, because the 680 that you're quoting me, I have a feeling that that is every diode on your pad added together.
That'd be 68 if she has 10 diodes.
Just took a S-shaped class. The instructor stated that the lower number we put it on, the stronger, the better result. Okay, so you're gonna be cavitating at either you're gonna be cavitating at 30K regardless of the number that you have it on. 650 MW is the 650 MW. Are you sure that you're not thinking about 650 NM and not MW? 650 NM is the that stands for nanometer. So that is actually the wavelength of the the red light. So there is a difference between the MW and the NM. One is the wavelength, one is the strength. So basically the wavelength, one is the depth, the other one is the strength. So don't focus so much on brands of machines as what you do the specs, okay? Just find machines with good specs. There's all kinds of different machines out. If you know what you're looking for as far as strength, then you'll be able to find a good machine. That's how I found my blue and white machine. My blue and white machine wasn't recommended to me by anybody. I knew specifically just from what I had read and studied, I knew what I wanted in a machine. And so I searched specifically by those specs to find a machine that fit, and I found my blue and white machine, and I was like in love with it. And so now I have the S-shape. I mean, the S-shape, I like the S-shape okay. I like the S-shape okay. I think I just love my blue and white machine better. Recommendations on where to get a massage table. I got my massage tables on Amazon, guys. I did. They're just little pink massage tables, and I put these covers over them, and then I put pretty blankets on them, and I put chucks down to change between my clients. So my massage table was like $120. I think that's how much I paid for it. So that's where I got mine. Yes, this video will be posted. Oh yeah, you can always find them on Marketplace. For sure. You can find them on there. What kind of padding do I have on my bed? You mean this? This is just a pee pad. This is a chuck pad like you would use, like they would use at the hospital. I get big boxes of them. No, under the chuck. Oh, this is just a pretty little blanket. I don't have any padding on my bed. I mean, my massage bed is, I mean, it's pretty well padded. But this is just a pretty little blanket that I've got on here. I've got the pink massage tables off Amazon, and let me tell you what, this pink one right here, it's not the pink like the neon. It's like a pastel pink color massage bed, and it's a little bit wider. It's not one of the skinny massage beds. I've had over a 400-pound man on this bed with no issue, and I've been rocking with this bed for 3 years. 3 years I've been rocking with this bed, and I've got a couple of them, and I've had some big people on my beds without any issues. So I don't know if I can find the brand.
I can check on the other bed.
On this bed, but I just got on Amazon. It's just the pink massage table. And I know that I picked one that I always check reviews. I won't order something if it doesn't have a bunch of really good reviews. So can I put the link of my bed? Yeah, I'll try to find it and see if I can post it. Lord, I ordered these so long ago.
I can. You have it covered too.
I think it's on the wood. I think it's like written on the wood part, the brand of the bed. I've got them covered, y'all, with, y'all know those little black flimsy covers that go over them that make them all cute, that cover up the legs? I've got those over my beds, and then I have blankets over that because I'll change my blankets, and then I cover everything with these pads. So I don't think it's labeled on the wood. I might be able to find it through the Amazon links. If I can, I'll post it for you guys. But I know they're good, solid beds. Like I said, I've had some big people on here. And I think that's it, y'all. I'm just get off here. I'm getting hungry. So I will post the video so that it can be watched from start to finish. So don't worry about that. If you missed anything at the beginning of it, it'll be posted on my YouTube also. Alright, y'all go be great. Make lots of money. Make lots of money today. And I'll probably make a video, I'm sure, again next week or something. But y'all have a good day. I'm getting off here. I'm just going to go get something to eat. Yeah, you can